All right, so I actually love this rumor. I'm not going to say I'm some big Breaking Bad fan. I do think it was one of the top five, easily top 10 greatest shows just based off of consistency from beginning to end, in my opinion. But I'm not like a massive Breaking Bad fan. But I do respect the range that Bryan Cranston has. I mean, how can you not? Just when you've watched him in Malcolm in the Middle and Breaking Bad, and nailed both the comedic and also way back in Seinfeld he had little roles there. And his comedic timing was great, and then just how dark he got in Breaking Bad. His range is, you can't deny his range. So Bryan Cranston rumored to join Dexter Resurrection season 2 as major villain role. Now naturally we're gonna assume it's the Ripper. uh I love this just because I was saying in discussions and in videos, I think that it should be somebody that has acting chops, an established actor. And nothing against the guy that played Jonah, besides the fact I hate the Jonah theory. I think it's dumb, makes zero sense, it's real lazy and sloppy. But I've done videos on that, so I've said my piece on that. I think, and also I thought that maybe that was why they canceled Original Sin, was to afford another actor that's been established and would be have a higher price tag on him, maybe. But after listening to Clyde Phillips, who does a podcast called Dissecting Dexter, I guess that wasn't the case.
It was a tough phone call that I got that night, where they had already picked up the show, and I'd informed
Yeah.
all the writers and informed all the actors, and then they unpicked it up. They created their own word. They unpicked it up,
Mm.
while picking up Resurrection, which was no surprise. Um, and it wasn't handled well, and I'm not happy about it.
So judging from that statement there, I was wrong. That's not why they canceled it. It's just what made sense to me. But rumors are circulating that Emmy-winning actor Bryan Cranston possibly joining Dexter Resurrection Season 2, sparking excitement among fans both of Breaking Bad and Dexter. According to a report by Fandom Wire, speculation began after an Instagram post. Now, that's a little bit concerning, because it could just be somebody that threw some kind of fan thing out there, like, oh, this would be cool. And then everybody else thought it was cool and just kind of ran with it. But I'm hoping that maybe there was some chatter of it, or at least it might put him on the radar. So nothing's been established. Many believe he could portray the long teased serial killer, the Ripper, which, again, I don't want it to be Jonah, like I said. But as far as the voice, that obviously wasn't Bryan Cranston. I think the voice can be explained away, that it's just a fanboy, somebody that knows a lot about it. And because the Ripper hasn't been active for so many years, however many years it hasn't been established, they just kind of threw themselves into the mix. It might be a copycat, who knows? I guess we'll find out. Known as Don Framp. Now, that could be a phony name. I don't see how it would be a phony name. Why Prater wouldn't have the real name. He had everybody else's real names, along with their aliases. He didn't know that Jim and I was twins, though, so there's some wiggle room right there. Now, Clyde Phillips, who does a podcast on Dissecting Dexter, which they mention here, and will reportedly feature episodic villains alongside Central Big Bad.
We've got a great big bad for next season, and some
wow,
other what we
okay.
call little bads, the weekly bads.
Okay.
Now, another thing that I had said in videos is I wanted them to get back to like the original theme of Dexter, like a main villain and then little villains along the way. And I said that that's kind of what I wanted them, not this fast-paced storyline that they had, which I also thought was to kind of erase New Blood. Maybe not erase, but just to move on from that. So they just try to end all the ties to that. So I was hoping they have a main villain, the Ripper, and then some smaller villains along the way. And it's probably gonna be 10 episodes instead of 12, so maybe 2 or 3 other little villains that he'll take out throughout until he faces the big bad, which I'm hoping is the Ripper. It makes sense to be the Ripper because they teased him a few times. If they save him for season 3, because it says here that they are Clyde Phillips is signed on, I believe, contracted for at least 3 seasons. Clyde Phillips, the showrunner, and Michael C. Hall are contracted for at least 3 seasons. So if they tease him again throughout season 2, then they better have a really good main bad guy. And then if they're going to have the Ripper be the ultimate villain, then that might work. But who am I? I mean, they obviously know what they're doing, right? So while Paramount has not officially commented on the casting rumors, again because it was just an Instagram post, the possibility of Cranston joining Dexter has already fueled widespread online discussion. Now, in that Dissecting Dexter podcast, he also mentioned that he pays attention to the theories.
Were you aware of all the theorizing and how almost everyone was a suspect?
Yes, I am aware that they thought that Gigi was
Yeah.
it. They thought that Oliva was
Yeah.
was the New York Ripper. They thought that Cody, Dexter's, Rita's kid, was that. I'm not going to say if anything is right. I'm just saying it's a deliberate opportunity for us, and when we get into the writing room, to make it feel more real and less theoretical.
Even Charlie's mum was suggested at one point.
You're right. You're right.
Bless her heart.
With production set spring of 2026. Now, season 1 was filmed this year and released this year. So it looks like they're going to do the same thing. Film early next year and then release season 2 probably into summer, going into fall, which I'm all for. If we do 3 seasons in 3 straight years, not like a 2-year in between wait, that's great. That's great for us fans, right? Now, I'm assuming that well, actually, I don't know. I don't know what Michael C. Hall's career plans are or life goals or any of that. I think he's approaching 60 years old, so I don't really want to see like some mid-60s Dexter running around New York City, taking people on. Not that he can't. Or maybe, mid-60s Dexter moves back to Florida and retires. Who knows? But personally, I don't want to see like an old man Dexter running around. It could be interesting, but that's just my personal preference. So yeah, I am all for this rumor. All the articles I've read are basically the exact same thing as this. I just picked this article to do this video because there wasn't all the pop-ups. But they've all basically said the same thing. It all boils down to this Instagram post, which, again, doesn't really mean anything. But this is something to be excited about. And maybe word reaches Bryan and then they end up talking together. Him and Clyde, or him and Scott. I think his name is Scott Reynolds, who does the writing. He's a producer on the show as well. I believe that's his name. Shame on me for not knowing. But I'm all for it, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and thanks for stopping by.